But Mary is your sister. It's not like she cares. Do it for me, honey. Please. Fine, I will. I'll call you later. I need to pick up the kids from school. My mother wanted me to invite my sister Helen to Charlie and Christy's birthday next weekend. My twins are turning 3, and I'm having a small party for them. My sister and I grew apart as we got older. I could no longer relate with her or understand most of her decisions. She became an influencer online and is now getting some modeling offers from different companies while I chose to be a dentist. Her social media had exploited my entire family, including me in the past, and thus I chose to have her away from my children, but my mother had insisted so much that I decided to give it a try at the birthday party. I picked up my keys and left to get my kids from school. On my drive, I called up Helen to invite her over. She told me that she would get back to me after checking her schedule, which made me roll my eyes. Helen never got back to me after my last call, hence I'd assumed that she wouldn't be coming, but right after we cut the cake, the doorbell rang, and there she was, my sister, arriving fashionably late. She brought the kids a fancy fountain pen, and when I asked her about it, she told me they would eventually need it. She spent the rest of the time on her phone until we were ready to take some pictures. She came up front to hold the kids in her lap and asked my uncle to take a picture of them. After a short photo session, she was back on her phone. She left before we had eaten dinner, and most of us were glad, including me. My mom always held hope that Helen would come out of her phone and pay some attention to her actual family, but it never happened. It had been 2 days since the birthday when Helen called me during the afternoon. Mary, I was just thinking about the kids, Charles and Crystal. Charlie and Christy? Yeah, I thought those were the nicknames anyway. I was just missing them so much. Do you mind if I can come over and babysit them for a while? Helen, why? What's up with you? Nothing. They're so cute. I just wanted to spend some time with them. Come on, Mary, please. Fine. You can come over early in the evening. I have some errands to run. I'll leave the kids with you at home. Perfect! Mary surprisingly didn't take long to come over. I left her with the kids, giving her some stern instructions. When I came back, I unlocked the door without ringing the bell, assuming that the kids might be down for a nap. However, right on the couch were my 2 kids with Helen photographing them in some bizarre scarves. What are you doing? I just taking some pictures of them. Helen, you know I don't want you to put my kids on your social media. Oh, it's too late. Besides, people love them. You know how cute they are. Anyway, my followers think they're my kids, and I have to keep posting about them to make it seem real. No, Helen, they aren't your kids, and you need to have my consent before just putting them out there. Well, I didn't do it purposely. I live-streamed the birthday a bit and people assumed it. You need to delete the pictures and tell your followers the truth. Nuh-uh. Mary, you don't understand it. This is how it works. I've gained so many followers. I have to keep it going or the hype will die down. She continued to take some more pictures. I snatched her phone from her hand and threw it on the marble floor of my living room. Helen, this isn't a joke. Mary, oh my god, my phone! Do you realize how expensive it is? You can't even afford it. I did you a favor. I made your kids famous. Magazines want to interview them with me. You've made yourself into a boring dentist. You couldn't let your kids have some fame, could you? Get out of my house. Now! She put her hands in front of her chest in defense. How about I pay you? Helen, just leave. Let me make you an offer at least. I'll buy them, both of them. What? I'll buy your kids. They're cute and they're good for my image right now. So I'll buy them, and since you're my sister, you don't even have to pay me back for my phone. Helen, this is not a joke. It's not funny. Just leave. Mary, you code a prize and you have it. I'll take these cute but annoying little devils out of your life and you can just relax, you know. Just lay back, enjoy. I took out my phone from my bag and called the security guard and asked him to come up and help me get a woman out of my house. Whoa, you're taking this too far, sis. You know what? I'm going. You think about my offer, all right? She took off her scarves from Charlie and Christy's head, took her purse from the coffee table, and left while I stood there in shock. Helen was unbelievable. But my kids, how did she even think that was possible at all? It had been a few days since the bizarre incident with Helen. I had talked to my mom about it, and she had finally agreed to never force me to have Helen over for any of the celebrations we have. I had a busy day at the clinic, and I'd left the kids with a babysitter, Janice, who was a teenager still in high school, but she knew how to take care of them and wanted to earn some extra cash. When I was finally home from work, I told her to inquire about the kids. "Hey, Miss Mary." "Hi, Janice. Just wanted to ask about the kids. All good?" "Oh, yeah. Your sister, Miss Helen, was home and she took the kids with her. She told me I could take the day off." "What? Why didn't you call me?" "Well, you told me not to call you until something important popped up, and I just thought that you would know from Miss Helen. Is there a problem, Miss Mary?" "Oh, you have no idea. Do you know where she took them? Did she say anything?" "No." I hung up the phone and called Helen quickly, but she didn't pick. I asked my mom, who told me that she will visit Helen's place to check. Then I called Helen's agent, who after much threatening told me that Helen was at an interview. I forced him to text me the address and got there at once. I called my husband, who came over to pick me. Helen was at the office of a local magazine. We entered the building and asked them about Helen, but they told us that she was still busy with an interview and we could wait for her in the waiting room. I made up an excuse that our mother was sick and I needed to see Helen right away, so she took us to a room with blinding lights and cameras all around. There she was, Helen, and with her were my children. I rushed over and picked up Charlie, and my husband picked up Christy. "Mary, what are you doing here?" "What are you doing with my kids?" "Your kids?" I raised my eyebrow at him. "Miss Helen, are these not your children?" Well, yes, of course they are." "No, these are my children, and Miss Helen here took them from my house without permission. So now you need to hand me the footage you have of them, because I don't want their faces plastered anywhere." "You're my sister. I'm their aunt. Can I take them? Is that a crime?" "We'll see about that." I left the building hurriedly to get away from the drama Helen had caused. I filed a restraining order against Helen and also charged her for kidnapping my kids from my residence. The magazine published an article explaining how Helen had been lying to her followers about the children and the lengths she had gone to keep the facade going. Helen lost all of her ongoing projects due to the bad press on her. My mother finally gave up on Helen, as even she was shocked to find out that Helen had taken away my children without my permission for a magazine interview. Helen was left alone with the lies that she had spun thrown back at her. She lost all her credibility and her family just because of her desperation to have fame. We never spoke or saw Helen again, and she had also deleted her social media due to the hate she was getting from her followers. I found out that in order to keep up with her life, she began working as a receptionist at a retail store. I can't imagine how difficult that was for Helen, who always looked down on the working people and commented that their lives were useless and boring.